Hey, what's up YouTube? What's going on? In today's new video, what I wanted to do is have a discussion around sport-specific training. And the reason I wanted to have this discussion is because I'm consistently seeing a trend where a lot of athletes, whether it's a basketball athlete, baseball athlete, or a hockey athlete, whatever athlete it may be, is training for a different sport. And what I mean by that is when you take maybe a hockey or basketball athlete or baseball athlete, sometimes these athletes are training and incorporating CrossFit style workouts, or maybe powerlifting workouts, or maybe they're doing an activity such as yoga for their training. And the reason why this is problematic is because I can pinpoint each one of these and kind of break it down, but if we use the example of CrossFit, and you put a baseball player into CrossFit or a basketball player into CrossFit, the thing is with CrossFit is that it's a lot of high volume Olympic lifts, a lot of high volume power lifts. The problem with this is that a lot of these athletes, whether they're hockey or basketball that are involved in, or baseball, that are involved in these unilateral sports, there's a lot of imbalances that exist for these athletes, and at the same time they're not exactly going to be qualified to be doing those lifts right away because they may have some mobility restrictions, they may have some stiffness going on that doesn't really allow them to get into the proper positions to even perform those lifts to begin with. Keep in mind, these are baseball, hockey, basketball athletes. They're getting paid to do their sports. They're not getting paid to do these CrossFit style workouts where there's a lot of demands and technique requirements in order to perform a lot of those lifts and workouts in CrossFit. So the point I'm trying to say is that if you take that athlete and start performing those types of workouts in CrossFit, you could be putting them at a significant risk for injury because Olympic lifts, power lifts are often associated with a higher level or a higher prevalence of injury. And a lot of that has to do with technique and training volume and just putting people that aren't qualified into those lifts to begin with. So that's where the problem arises. Now I'm just kind of centering CrossFit out here. This could be yoga, this could be powerlifting. And the whole point that I'm trying to say is that if you're going to train to be a basketball athlete, train to be a basketball athlete. Don't train and start incorporating and doing CrossFit if you're a basketball athlete. Now, with all that being said though, if you're someone that's maybe just a recreational basketball athlete and maybe doing CrossFit recreationally as well, that's fine. But at the same time, if you're looking to compete and actually be good at your sport, you want to be competitive, train for your sport. And now if we use CrossFit as an example, train to be a CrossFit athlete. Don't train to be a hockey athlete, because you're not going to do hockey to become a better CrossFit athlete is all I'm trying to say here. If you're in CrossFit, train for CrossFit. If you're in powerlifting, train for powerlifting. If yoga is your thing, do yoga. If hockey, basketball, baseball, mixed martial arts are your thing, train for those sports specifically. Identify the demands of those sports, identify the requirements, and then train accordingly. But like I said though, with all that being said, if you're someone that's recreational, this may not matter to you. This is someone who's more competitive, involved in high performance, or just wants to be a better athlete and better at their sport. Train for that sport. Identify the demands, identify the requirements, and then train accordingly. So you have to identify the physiological demands, the biomechanical demands, the motor control demands, and then just train accordingly, plan your program, and then implement it. That's all I wanted to say about sport-specific training in this video, guys, because like I said, I'm seeing this trend where you have athletes who are involved in hockey, baseball, basketball, it could be mixed martial arts, whatever it is, and they're doing CrossFit workouts, or they're doing yoga, or they're doing powerlifting, when those are sports in their own, and they're not specifically training to become better at their own sport. And so that's the issue that I have with this, is with this trend that's occurring. And so when you're involved in a certain sport, whether it's hockey, baseball, basketball, and you start training like a CrossFit athlete, like I said, this could put one at a greater risk for injury because of the demands associated with that sport. Now they are different, but this also could take away from performance from that baseball, basketball athlete, because now they're training in a different way. So that's what I wanted to just talk about in this video, guys, and discuss with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you have anything else you'd like to share or maybe add on to this conversation, I'd love to hear that. And for that, we'll wrap it up for this video, guys. Just a little quick video, and until next time, all the best and take care.